Hack number one is you have to make sure that you have at least 3 different bank accounts. And the way that this looks now is you want to have one bank account for your spending money, one bank account for your investment money, and one bank account for your savings money. Now, as you start to make more money, as you start to invest your money in different places, you're probably going to have even more bank accounts than this, because the way that it looks like for me is I have a spending account. This is my checkings account right here, that when I make money, it gets deposited right here. Then I have multiple different investment bank accounts. So I have one bank account that holds money that I want to put into the stock market. I have one bank account that holds money that I want to put into the real estate market. And then I have a separate account that's automatically being invested for me. So I have multiple of these investment accounts. So I get paid and some money is going into my real estate, my stock market, and then my passive investment account. And then I also have a separate savings account. This is a savings account that I use. That's my emergency fund. This is there to protect me against emergencies in case things go wrong. Now you're going to probably say, but Jaspreet, I don't have a lot of money to do this. What do you want me to do? Create 3 different bank accounts and put $2 in each? Listen, you have to start getting situated with your finances, and that means you have to be disciplined with how you use your money, because if you spend all your money, you're never going to be able to become wealthy. But at the very least, the reason why you need 3 bank accounts is because you need some money that you can go and spend, that you can buy your groceries with, that you pay your rent with, that you pay your mortgage with, that you buy a car with. This is your spending money. Then this is the money that's going to be invested. And you don't have to worry about getting all fancy with stocks and real estate and all the other stuff right now. Just know that this is the money that's going to be invested. This is the money that you're going to use for your savings to protect you against an emergency. This is not savings that you're going to use as a down payment on a home or a car. This is savings there to protect you against an emergency. Start with this. And a simple way that you can go by doing this is following something like a 75, 15, 10 plan that says for every dollar that you earn from here on out, 75 cents is the maximum that you can spend. 15 cents is the minimum you're investing. 10 cents is the minimum that you're saving. So if you make $100, $75 goes in here, $15 goes in here, $10 goes in here. Keep it simple to start. Then as you start building some money in here, this is where you can decide how you want to invest your money. But before we jump ahead of ourselves, let me go into number 2. The second hack if you want to become wealthy is avoid the shiny stuff. The BMWs, the Rolexes, and the timeshares. If you want to become wealthy, avoid these 3 things until you've actually achieved some wealth. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people making a lot of money just blow their money away because they need the nice car, they need the nice watch, and they need those fancy vacations before they've actually built any wealth. Because let me help you understand this real quick. If you want to become wealthy, the way you become wealthy is not by making few $100,000 a year. If you want to become wealthy, it's not by getting a promotion. The way you become wealthy is by owning investments, period. And the reason why this is so difficult is because when people start making money, what do? I got to show off the money that I'm making. I'm working so hard on my job, I got to show it off. I deserve a vacation, I deserve a watch, I deserve a nice car, because you're working so hard. But here's what wealthy people do. They work hard to earn the money. You get the money. That's the hard part. But then the even harder part is they take this money and they don't spend it. They take this money and they buy investments instead of the BMW, instead of the Rolex, instead of the timeshares. Let me tell you something about timeshares. As an attorney who's not your attorney, I have seen so many people buy these timeshares thinking that they're going to be great investments. You're going to be able to take your family on these vacations. You're spending all your money on these timeshares. You have to pay all this money every year to keep up with it, and then you can't even sell it because nobody wants your piece of crap timeshare. But this is where what I want you to understand is if you want to become wealthy, you got to avoid the shiny stuff for a little while, that we have our money to actually go out and invest. And if I'm being completely honest with you, one of the reasons why I have been driving a beat down Toyota Solara, even though I make decent money, is because of that very reason. I don't want to spend that money on my car first. I wanted to secure my family's wealth. I wanted to see more success in my business. I wanted to see more success in myself before I went out and started dumping a lot of money in my car. And you got to figure out what your priorities are. Charlie Munger used to talk about this, that you don't need a Rolex. Now, if you want a Rolex, fine. Just make sure you're building your wealth first. You want to buy a $10,000 watch? Great. But if you don't have $10,000 in your stock market investments, if you don't have a rental property, what are you doing driving around with a $10,000 watch in your hand? Number 3 is do not save all of your money. And for all of you that are watching this video with some sort of Indian descent, this one is going to hurt. Now, I'm telling you this because my family are traditional immigrants from India. And the traditional Indian mindset is save, save, save. The way I like to say it is the Indian people make $1 to spend 20 cents. American people make $1 to spend $2 with the help of credit cards and lines of credit. And so Indian people will make $100,000 a year but live off of $20,000 a year. True story. This is what they do. But if you want to become wealthy, you cannot get there just by saving money. Now, saving your money is better than going into debt and spending all of your money on dumb things. But if you want to become wealthy, and I mean actually wealthy, where you don't have to stress about money, where money's coming into the bank every single month from your investments, that's not going to happen with you just saving your money. Now, saving your money is the first hard part where you're not spending your money. The second hard part is you got to be strategic with this money because the reality is your savings are being eaten away by inflation. Now, I know what you're going to say. Jaspreet, I have a high interest savings account. My high interest savings account is higher than the reported inflation number. So aren't I beating inflation and becoming wealthier with my savings account? And sure, if you want to trust the reported numbers, you could look at it that way. But the reality is for the average person, their cost of living has gone up significantly faster than the reported inflation numbers. For example, between 2020 and 2024, the reported inflation numbers say that grocery prices have gone up by around 22%. That means that a $100 cart of groceries in 2020 costs $122 today. Now, I don't know about you, but my groceries cost a whole lot more than 22% more than what they did back in 2020. So, yes, you can kind of mitigate the effects of inflation with a high interest savings account. There's value to have a high interest savings account, but if you really want to become wealthy, you have to be the person that's investing your money, not just saving all of your money. There's a time and place to save money. Like you want to have some savings to protect you against an emergency. I say have 3 to 12 months put aside for your savings money just to protect you. But once you save your money, the rest of your money's got to be invested or be ready to be invested. You don't have to always have your money invested. You can have money put aside ready to be invested. But the money is there to be invested. It's not there just sitting there to be saved. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.